Welcome back. I'm Gary Parr.
I'm Jenifer Rose.
And it's the midweek version of the Fiber Talk podcast for the Needlework artists.
Yep, being artisty.
We have so much stuff going on. Not going to take a lot of time to go through it all, but we have so much stuff going on. We have the Marion Lang chart and kit. Now that is no longer free, but still available at wetalkfiber.com/lang, and /lang kit will get you the kit. And then the Mary Jane Fry one, also at Sassy Jack's, MJF 1861 and MJF 1861 kit. And then the Spring Hill sampler at Needle in a Haystack. Yep, so /Spring Hill gets you that one. And then the Botany Bay sampler from Brendan and Karen Kirk, Linen and Threads. That is available at Sassy Jack's. And also is available at the Attic. That's the Attic Sampler of the Month for last month. If I believe I have that right. But anyway, so Gene will have kits there at the Attic along with Kim at Sassy Jack's for the Botany Bay Sampler. That's a good one. Beth and I are going to do that one. I'm waiting on my stuff right now. And Beth, I think, was picking out threads the other day. So we're going to do that. And then we started the new one Sunday with our show with Joanna Cabanoff of Mojo Stitches, and that is Take Wing, Joanna's Take Wing sampler. Oh, that's a good one. And so that is wetalkfiber.com/wing. And there Kim has four or five different setups, kits, with two of them with Ada and two with linen. I believe how it goes. I just pulled one out, the 37 count Russian tea cake. That's the one I'm doing. 37 count Russian tea cake. That kit with threads is $26, and then the chart is $17. So you get the kit for $33. Now there are some DMC and some overdye threads that are not in the kit, so you're on your own for those. But a good chance you have those in your stash, so it really wouldn't add to the cost. But $33 to do a sampler on linen is really economical.
That's good.
Yeah.
The Russian tea cake is what I'm using on Spring Hill.
It's so nice, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah,
it's very nice.
Yeah. So that so we're all doing that. You're doing that one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So all three of us are doing that. I'm doing mine on the Russian tea cake 37 count. I don't know what you're doing. We haven't sorted you out yet.
No.
But we will.
Know.
So check that out. That is really a good one from Joanna Cabanoff. And then check out the show Sunday to learn more from Joanna. She's a terrific talent. We're going to hear a lot more from her in the future. I am more than confident. A lot of talent there. Mm-hmm. Yep. So very economical for that one. And Kim, the cottage garden threads, there's some specialty threads in there, cottage garden threads that come from Australia. And so Kim took those, ordered those and got them. And then to keep the cost down, what she has done is broken up the skeins, which is not her normal approach. But she's broken up the skeins so that you get more than enough to stitch the chart, but don't have to pay for the skeins because the thread is fairly expensive. So by doing that, she's able to get it down to $26 for the thread and the linen, and make it really economical to do this terrific chart. And I'm sure Kim will be happy to order you the full skeins of threads if you want them, but you really don't need them, and you'll just save a ton of money. So
is that the same thread she was talking about on the show?
Yes, the cottage garden threads. Yep.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, that she couldn't get. She couldn't get threads she wanted during the pandemic, and then they had this local thread maker who she liked their stuff. So so we get to use that. It's beautiful thread. Yeah, I have some.
Yeah, I even really like the flower, the one that's similar to the bird one, but it's the flowers.
Yes.
I forget what it's called.
Yeah,
I really like that one too.
Her Quaker Bushland Quaker series it is.
Yeah, there you go, because it's the flowers of Australia.
Right.
Which they're really pretty and unique and fun.
Yeah, on both of those, the flower one and then the Take Wing, if you go to Joanna Kabanoff's blog, then she has pictures of all the wildlife, the actual pictures of like birds and flowers that she includes in there, so you can see what she used for inspiration for each of the motifs. It's very cool.
Oh,
yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So check that out too. Yeah.
Nice.
So you can. So then, as you're stitching them, you can relate to what you're stitching in the real world and the wildlife. So yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, that's just an added bonus. I love when designers do that kind of thing and give that tie into the inspiration. It's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's all coming up. All coming up. Now, tonight, it's going to be Beth and Jenifer and me stitching and chatting. I have some pictures from people. I say I have them, but I really need to dig them out of emails and sort them out. People who have finished projects that we'll take a look at that are really nice.
Oh,
and
nice.
So we'll just talk and that.
Cool.
Let's see what else we got. Oh, so Sunday. Do not miss Sunday. I say that every week, don't I? Yeah.
But it's true every week.
Susan Kay-Williams and Jacquie MacDonald from the Royal School of Needlework.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It's a really, had a great conversation with them talking about the things that they have implemented, the online things they've implemented during the pandemic, and how many of them they're going to continue on. And it's quite interesting and exciting because basically what this pandemic has done and will do is open up the Royal School of Needlework to everyone around the world without having to go to Hamilton Court Palace. And
Nice.
And it's really exciting because that bastion of needlework, I think anybody who knows about it would love to go there one day and just spend do a week there. The pandemic has put them in a position just so they could stay in business during the pandemic. But now they're going to carry that on, and it's going to really effectively, the school will be accessible to anyone who wants to participate from around the world to do it right from your house. So that's really exciting. And then on top of that is this new stitch bank that they're working on that we'll talk about. Jacquie MacDonald is heading up that project. Massive project to put together a database of video and photos and descriptions and charts of stitches from all over the world. Massive project. And so we talk about that too. So it's a really informative show Sunday. And but I think the Stitch Bank is fantastic. But I think even more exciting is that if you want to, in the future now, if you want to do things with the Royal School, you're gonna be able to do them and get their instruction. Wow. Just think about that.
Yeah, because even they do have the correspondence courses over here, but you still have to go to the location.
Right. Yeah.
So that's really cool.
Yeah. I think one of the most exciting things in the last couple of years is that in terms of regular folk, folk who don't have money to travel to London and spend 2 weeks, money and or time, and now it's going to be accessible, so it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that's really cool.
So we talk about it. It's fun. All right. Now we finished another month.
Yes.
And you have been doing the Wipgo thing since the beginning of the year. And I've been keeping an eye on you because, and I've said this before, I thought it was just kind of a silly gimmick when you started. But I've gone 180 degrees. This thing, it really is paying off for you, isn't it?
Yeah, it's working. It's keeping me doing projects and picking ones up that I would maybe just not touch for years. Because I really went through, when I made out my Wipgo board, I went through and looked at everything that I had started that was just sitting around half done and put them on there. I'm like, you're going to at least touch it for 7 days out of the year.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you say you stop working on something because something else caught your eye, or maybe you got frustrated, you've given it time and you go back to it and suddenly it catches your interest again, and maybe you do more than the minimum that you set for your goal. which I've done too.
So that has happened to you then. You instead of just doing enough to keep it going, the energy got fired up and you've been doing more. Oh, that's great.
And then like some of my smaller bits, like those berries, the Erica Michaels berries, 12 berries of Christmas. Even though I've, maybe done the 7 hours or whatever, I'll just finish it because it's little, finish it.
Yeah.
So, or the cottages, you finish the cottage, whether, you're going to go past my little 7 hours that I gave myself. And everybody sets their own goal. You decide what your goal is.
Yeah. Now, have you been forcing yourself to stick to it, or have you given yourself at least a little leeway?
I've pretty much been making sure that I stick to it. The only month that I had a problem was March because, headaches and stuff, and because I didn't feel good because of that. So I did work on my projects, but I didn't get my full 7, 1 hour a day for 7 days in. That didn't happen.
Yeah.
And a couple of those projects, one was the butterfly lace mandala, which was very, you really have to look at the chart and look where you're stitching and look at the chart. So that was eye intensive. Mm-hmm. And then the other one was an over one. And it was also a super intensive chart.
Yeah.
So those two, it just was unlucky for them that they got picked on that month and that I felt the way I did.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if it had been something that was bigger and more simple, it probably wouldn't have been as much of a problem. But I didn't get a lot of stitching done on anything that month.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. The entire month you just didn't feel quite right.
I did some crochet and stuff, but I didn't. It was not happening.
Yeah. So how many that have been sitting around, unfair question, but how many that have been sitting around for a long time have you finished or have you made significant progress on that you probably wouldn't have?
Well, like that Catherine sampler, the one that has the bands.
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm.
That one, I got a lot more done on that one than I normally would have because usually I do a band and I'm done.
Yeah.
But that one, because I was forcing myself to stick to my goal, and then I wasn't going to leave a band half finished. I finished the band.
Yeah, band samplers will do that, won't they? Yeah, can't leave it half finished, right?
No, you have to finish it out. And then I was glad to put it away. It's like, you're going back in the closet for a while. I need some space.
But you made progress on it, so...
I made way more progress than I would have made if I just pulled it out and just stitched on it a little. I would have put it away, a couple bands earlier.
Yeah, yeah.
I wouldn't have gotten nearly as much done.
Right. So for people who we're doing this as if everyone knows. I hate when people do that. So we just did that one very thing as if everyone knows all about this. Describe how this Wipgo thing works.
Well, there's a Facebook group called Wipgo, and like for this year it's Wipgo 2021, and I don't even remember the name of the girl who runs it, but it's run by someone. She runs the group, and the beginning of every month so what you do is you set up a bingo board. It's bingo basically. So you have 5 by 5 rows, 5 across, 5 down.
Okay.
And you pick projects and you stick them in each little number area, each little square. And what I did is I went through and I picked, and you can pick whatever you want. It's whatever you want to do. But I decided that I was going to pick all my whips and stick them in the squares so that I worked on everything that I had started. Mm-hmm. And so I went through and I put them all in, and then some of them I kind of ran out of whips. So I'm like, all right, well then take some of the big ones and put them in again.
Oh, okay. I see.
Because you're not going to finish it. So like Pandemic's in there twice. And I think the butterfly lace one's in there twice. Some of them are in there twice. And then you decide what you want to be your goal. My goal is work on each project 1 hour a day for 7 days. Doesn't have to be 7 days in a row, but 7 days during the month.
Okay.
So, and that's not a lot.
Yeah.
And like, March, I couldn't even manage that. So.
Right. So then you have this bingo board with these things laid out, and then what is the administrator? What's her role? Does she roll the dice and say this?
Yeah, she picks the numbers and tells everybody, so this month it's going to be these 2 numbers. And let's see, where do I have my bingo board for this month? Here it is. So this month is the Berry Bowl sampler and Pandemic. So I'll work on Pandemic again.
Okay, so she picks two numbers, and then you go to your little bingo board, and you say, those are the two I'm working on this month, an hour, and then you set the goal, an hour a day, 7 days.
Right. And some people are like, get to, if they're doing some big thing with a motif, get like 2 large motifs done. Or maybe they're almost done with something. They'll be like, finish it. So it's whatever you want to pick for your goal. Or sometimes it's, work on it for 10 days straight or
now,
whatever.
Is it standard Facebook group show pictures of your progress kind of thing?
Yeah. You're supposed to take a before picture and then an after picture and post. And you can even post progress throughout the month if you want. And they do these like weekend challenges and stuff. But I've not done that. My participation is I have the board and I work on what there is more participation, but I haven't participated. Yeah.
Well, but what you're doing is working for you. It's been difference making for you. Yeah.
Right. It's getting me through my whips and working on things that I have sitting in the closet that I would otherwise forget about.
Right.
And I went through my craft room and looked in all my cubbies where I store stuff and looked, what do I have? Oh yeah, there's that one. Okay, put that one down, know?
Right.
So yeah.
Okay, so that's good because people like me who have several going and I don't have any structure to it at all. It's just what I feel like. And lately I've hardly done any stitching because life, but this is see what I'm seeing in this is not, I want to say structure, but when you say structure, it just has this connotation of rigid, follow the rules kind of thing. It's really, it's given you some structure with flexibility that has kind of just semi-organized you.
It's like a guidance.
Yeah.
Just a little guidance system.
Yeah.
So while I'm doing the things that I'm like, ooh, I want to do that. And ooh, I want to do that. It's like, yeah, but remember this over here. Work on this a little bit. And work on that a little bit.
Well, that's true. It's work. Yeah, I know. That's the cool thing is it's working for you. And I've seen it now because like I said, I thought it was just a silly gimmick, and it has. But it has really. I've seen the progress. I mean, you have really made good progress on several projects, and a little bit jealous here because you really, well, you have. I mean, it's been a difference making. So
yeah, you can make a Wipgo board and join in anytime.
Yeah, and that's the other thing I was going to say. There's no start or stop. You can just jump in at any point.
Yeah, just make your Wipgo board, and there's numbers that have already been called, but say you get done with your goals for the 2 for the month, go to some of the numbers that have been called already and work on those.
So so the group is Wipgo, WIPGO?
Right.
Okay.
Wipgo 2021.
Okay. So people can find
what it is. Right.
Well, that's just been great. Yep. Now I want to talk about you're working on the Berry Bowl sampler. Now that was at the last Nashville show. That was one of the hits. A collaboration with Beth Twist at Heartstring Samplery and Tanya Brockmeyer at Scarlett House, where they did this sampler collaboration, and it was talked about a lot, very popular. So you're working on that, but you've discovered, and it's really cool. So tell about, because it's an interesting approach that these two took to put this design together.
Yeah. So it's on 2 different pieces of linen that are sewn together in the middle. Yeah. And I am doing it that way. You don't have to do it that way if you don't want to. If that's like, oh my gosh, I can't do that. Just do it on one piece of linen. It's fine. But I'm doing it with the 2 pieces. And one thing that I noticed when you look at it and you're like, wow, that looks really impressive and stuff on the front. And it uses all the overdyed flosses, weeks, and some Gentle Arts, and a couple of, what's that other brand? With a C, Classic Colorworks.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's Classic Colorworks. And and it has a DMC conversion too, if you want to do that. So the chart, you look at it and it looks all super fancy, and it is really impressive and fancy. But when you look at the chart, it's very straightforward. It's lots of just blocks of color. So it lends itself to that meditative stitching in a way. Because like the baskets will just be rows, like one row of color and then a row of a second color, and then they just stripe. So all you have to do is get your first line in and then just watch how it tapers in, and you can just stitch, stitch, stitch. And it's meditative.
So you don't have to look at the chart at all then?
No, not really. Yeah, and then say, you're looking at one bowl and you fill in even the greenery part around the berries. It's got a pattern to it. Uh-huh. And then once you get that part filled in, all you have left, especially in the middle, is holes where the berries are. All you do is just fill in.
So this great big sampler that looks like a massive reproduction sampler, it's original design, but massive reproduction sampler look that, people will take an entire year to do is in the final analysis, meditative stitching.
Yeah.
To a degree, of course. Yeah.
Right. I mean, you have to, get the basic shakedown, but there's a lot of it where it's intuitive. You just look at it and you're just like, oh, it just angles in there, and you just go straight down and across. Very meditative, and reminded me of the Krista West things, right, where the pattern is just repeated and repeated and repeated. Yep. And then especially those berries, you get the outline filled in, which is also repetitive. Right. And then you just fill the berries in with the color. It's so it looks really, really impressive. I'm like, oh, wow. But it's really quite manageable. And I'd even say a beginner.
Really?
I would totally give this to a beginner to do. Oh, yeah.
Just because of that, because everything is repetitive.
Oh, yeah. Right. Because there's no confetti stitching. There's no complicated, weird paths you have to figure out and stuff. I would definitely give this to a beginner to do.
Because it does not look like that at all. Yeah.
No, I know it doesn't. It looks like, wow, But no, I think it's very approachable. And like I said, if the two different linens freaks you out, just don't do it on two different pieces of linen.
Right. Now, see, I would not do that, because when we were looking at that at the Nashville market, my first thought was I would not do it, because it was the idea was two friends each stitching half, and then you bring it together.
Right.
And I would do it all on one. But I really like the design. It's a very nice design, but I would just do it all on one. But it is kind of a neat thing to join the two in the middle and have that kind of friendship thing. Because you could easily do that with a stitching friend. Each of you do half, and then fight over who gets the final piece. But
well, if you each do each half and then you swap, know, like you swap a piece.
Yes.
So you stitch basically the whole thing, and then you each swap a section so that I have one half is something I stitched, the other half is something you stitched, and then they have the same thing, but just the halves are different.
Okay, there we go. I'll work with that.
So then everybody gets a piece, gets a finished product. Yeah. But half is stitched by your friend. Yep.
It's really neat. So what are you stitching it on?
What they sent, the called for, which is
whatever they sent. I just use it.
Whatever they said to use. It's 36 count. Where's 36 count with one thread over two. So I am using one thread. Whereas my other 36 count projects and 37 I'm using two. And like I said, it's more of a primitive look. Yeah. So I'm going with the one. Let's see. Picture this plus 36 count Heartland and Wren. Okay. So Heartland is more of a brownie with models, and then the Wren is kind of like a grayish greeny or something with lots of modeling and.
Yeah. Because that's what the model calls for that. So there's a distinct difference in halves. It's not like
right.
they're both stitched
yeah.
on the same linen, just and paired
Definitely
together.
different colors.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and I got the kit. My mom got me the kit for Christmas from Country Sampler.
Mm-hmm.
So it came with all of the threads and everything, so I didn't have to buy anything. It all came. Yeah.
Well, it's very cool, and it's so interesting that because you would not look at that and think meditative stitching at all. It's
no, you wouldn't.
Yeah.
And then you get out the charts, you look at them, and I started, and I'm like, well, this is just meditative stitching. I mean,
wow.
I get the first row in, and then I can base the rest of it, just double check, do a quick little look and a double check, and make sure you're on the right,
Yeah.
that you go in diagonal and skip a row, and then just go to the end.
Just go
to the end. Yeah. And then now you've got that structure set up, so you fill in the second color. You really don't even have to look at all. Just go.
Excellent. Well, there we go. See the things we learned. The things
I know.
Yep. That's great.
So, that's one of my Wipgo projects, and I got it started.
Yay.
So now I have 5,000 million projects going. I'm working on Spring Hill again because Beth posted. She's working on it. I'm like, uh-oh.
Beth's on your
Spring
butt.
Hill.
Beth's on your butt. She is coming fast, I'll tell you.
Mm-hmm. Yep, so I have started. I'm working on that center tree thingy.
Uh-huh.
Let's see. It's the tree that's coming out of the shovel handle that's stuck in the mound of dirt.
Okay.
Because, that's the closest to the center, and just, how I just count off my center grid. And,
right.
Yeah.
Well,
so it looks like branches are...
Beth's hunting you down. I can tell you that.
Yep. Branches are springing from the shovel handle. You can see it used to be a shovel handle that was stuck in the top of the ground, and branches are sprouting from it.
Okay. It's really a great chart. It really is. Just a great one. And it's May. It's May, so the summer one should be coming soon.
My gosh, I know. Oh my goodness. I got to hurry up and get this done so I can be ready.
Yeah, Spring Hill is the first of 4 charts from Karen Kluba, Rosewood Manor. And summer is coming. Summer Hill is coming in May. And if you go back when we launched it on January 1, the live video when Karen was with us, we got to see the summer one. And we've all been, okay, Spring Hill is really great, but give me that summer one.
I know. Yeah. I know.
So that's coming up. Yep.
Right.
Now see, and you've been doing so much stitching, and I've been doing essentially none.
Well, you're working on moving.
Yeah.
Selling your house and moving. You've been otherwise busy, and that takes a lot of time.
Oh, boy.
I mean, and then to try to sit down and stitch after all that craziness, I mean, it's got to be, that's where you need to pull out one of those meditative pieces.
I know, yeah.
So that you can just not have to think and just wind down.
Yep.
If you can even get there. You just might be so frazzled.
My stuff's in disarray all over. It's in boxes. Mm-hmm. Some of it is out at Marga's cousin's where he has a big pole barn, and we've been storing some out there because we just needed room to put stuff so we could show the house.
Oh, yeah.
And then it looked like we were going to not move because the market's so crazy. So then I moved everything into the spare bedroom that had become empty and was just going to set up there and do that till we got back in the market. And then a week ago, we got a call from our realtor in the St. Louis area that one of the houses we'd offered on. You bid on them these days. You don't offer on them. You bid on them.
Yeah.
That the deal had fallen through, and we were second in line. Did we want the place? And we were mentally, we had, matter of fact, last weekend, or not 2 weekends ago now, time is flying on me. I had moved all my needlework and my working desk and was setting up recording things to do podcasts, equipment, and I was going to be here for a while because we thought we were going nowhere for a while. And then that was Sunday, and then Monday he calls. Yeah. So we bought that place. We took it. We took the deal. And so then this past Friday, we were there for the inspection. And now we close on that at the end of May. Well, then we had taken our house off the market. Mm-hmm. So we immediately put it back on the market. And then just this past Sunday, it sold. And so it's under contract. And that ends, closes the end of June. So we'll have time to close and then move without feeling like we have to get out of the house quickly. So that'll be great. And I'm really, when the inspection was the first time that we'd seen the place other than through our daughter's camera, her cell phone camera. So we were there, and we got there, and the inspector guy was there ahead of us, and we meet him, and he's, well, I'm doing this and this, and we said, do whatever, because we have not seen this place, so we got our own list of things to do. And but one of the things is it's a 3-bedroom townhouse, and so one bedroom is going to be Marga's office because we work at home, and then the other bedroom is going to be basically my studio. So my working desk for magazine work will be in there, but also needlework. All my needlework stuff will go in there. And then my recording gear. So I'll be able to set up the cool there's so many cool things because I'll be able to set up my podcast gear and leave it because
nice.
Up till a couple of weeks ago when I moved into the spare bedroom, I would record at the foot of the bed in our bedroom, and so it was set up and take down every time we recorded.
Right, and that takes you so much more time.
Absolute pain. So now all that will be all set up, and then I'm going to put acoustic panels in the room to kill off the echo, which you're probably hearing a little bit of echo right now.
That's not bad.
But so that'll kill that off. So I'll have a nice clean sound, be able to record, have all my needlework right there, and my working computer and all of that stuff all in the same room, and then going to put a TV in there. Yeah.
Nice.
Yep. So it's going to be really ideal. So that's what I've been working on in my head lately, and especially since we saw the house and saw it, you got to see the room, and it has 2 windows in it, and so I'll have plenty of daylight. So then it's, all right, how am I going to set this up? What am I going to do? How am I going to make sure I have a lot of surface area? I want to have a lot of surface area, or as much as I can anyway, to spread things out. It's got a full-blown closet, so I'll be able to have shelves in there to store stuff. I'm pretty excited about it. It's a real opportunity to build a working space from scratch and know what's going in there, not have it evolve. But,
that's nice.
Know what's going in there. So I'm pretty excited about it, and it'll take some time to figure it all out. But when it's all done, it should be a really great room to do all these things. And
and since you won't have to be constantly taking down and setting up, that'll be more time to actually sit and stitch, and you can
about that.
Relax more. You don't have that I have to hurry up and get everything ready and make sure it's all done. It'll be just ready.
Yep. Yeah, it's
and
going to be great.
That'll be just a huge weight off.
Yep. And the other thing is lighting. I've been now thinking about, because in my corner down in the family room where I've been for a long time, lighting was adequate, but you know how when you lean over the table and you create shadows on your work? I hate that. Yeah. So
that's a problem.
Yeah. So I'll be figuring out lighting to do so that I have lighting coming in from angles, so I don't have that. And I'm pretty excited about it. It's going to be one of those opportunities you don't get very often to set up your own hobby and workspace and have it the way you want it.
And it'll help you be more productive. And it'll be great. That's awesome.
Yep. So pretty excited about that. So that'll be initially there'll be a big flurry, and then over the summer, then it'll evolve and we'll get it fixed up. So Yep. So that was stitching. No, I've been busy.
But you're kind of in a way working on stitching. You're working on getting your stitching area set up so you can be productive in the future.
There we go. I'm writing that down right now, Jenifer.
Yeah.
I'm writing that down.
See? So it's not like you're not working on it. It's just you're working on a different aspect.
Yes. Okay. I'll go with that. Help me rationalize this. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's called finding the sunshine in the gloomy spot.
Yep.
Whatever.
So, but no, and you're right. You know, the stress of buying and selling is well, we've all done it. It's exhausting, and and you sit down at night and it's like, oh no, I'm not moving. I'm just not moving.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then
Brain dead.
And we got half the packing done, but we thought we were going to be out of the market because it was so insane. So we kind of stopped packing, and you really can't do. You can only do so much, and then you have to start piling stuff in the house. Well, if people are coming through the house, to look at it, you can't have a bunch of boxes sitting around. That's not good.
Right.
So we're kind of in limbo, but now that the house is under contract, full metal, and get them boxed up.
Yeah, if you don't want to, some people either rent a pod or you can rent a storage facility. But if you don't want to do that, I know that when we go to sell this house, I'm going to have to do. I'm going to have to move half the stuff out of every.
You got trouble.
Yeah. Oh yeah, this place is so. You can't even see the rooms for all the stuff lining. It's just the house is too small.
Yeah. Too small for your stash is what it is.
It is, and for my books, my bookshelf.
Yeah, you got trouble. Mm-hmm.
I do. And have you ever shopped for furniture and tried to find furniture that'll fit your small house? If it's small enough to fit in your house, it's not comfortable.
Oh, is that how it goes?
It's like rock hard. Yes, it's a problem.
It's been 28 years since because we lived in a really small house. Our first one was really small, and but it's been 28 years, so I forgot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just forgot, but. Yeah, so we because we got everything is all this stuff that you throw away because you got to first you got to get rid of all the stuff that you're not taking with you. That was the biggest project, 28 years of stuff, and now we're down to. I was pretty pleased because when the mover came through to see what he'd have to move, he says, "Boy, you guys don't have a whole lot of stuff. Good, victory.
You're like, thank you,
victory, excellent." Nice. Just what we want to hear from the guy who we're paying to move our stuff. Excellent.
Oh my gosh. See, both the big moves that we made, because the company that Urian worked for moved us both times. So when we moved out to the Netherlands, the company moved us. And then we moved back here, the company moved us. So we didn't have to hire or pay for the movers. They just came and did it. And it was fantastic. And I know this next time when we move, I'll tell you what, having the people come in and pack your whole house in one day is amazing. It is the best thing ever.
Oh, you let them pack it? Oh, my.
Oh, yeah. Well, they had to for insurance purposes.
Oh, okay.
And because we were moving overseas,
Oh, all right. Yeah.
So, and they had to go. So they packed everything. It's awesome.
Wow.
Awesome. And I'm spoiled now, and I want that again. Depending on how far we move, we'll see.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I got. I'd say 2/3 of my needlework stuff is already packed and in tubs, and that was huge. That was a huge project. The rest is.
Yes, how many big tubs are we talking here?
I think it was 4.
Let's tell.
I think it was 4, and there's easily a 5th one.
Oh my gosh!
Of what I'm calling active stuff, and then
my goodness!
Then there's 3 stands, and then there's my two tool chests. Each of them 3 drawers that are full of threads. So those I just have to lock up, and so there's that. Yeah, it's kind of.
Oh my! So how are you moving your? Because I'm sure you have a bunch of needlepoint that's on frames.
Oh yeah, in the car, taking it with me in the car.
Oh, okay. So they're just all. So how do you store those in the house? Are they stacked up against a wall or in a closet, kind of like vertical, all leaning against each other?
I have some shelving that my table is attached to, and then they're in that. But then that's a good question because that's one of the things that's on my mind for the closet, where I can have storage, is some shelving where I can store those. Yes.
So do you store those laying down or standing up?
Standing on end.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't want any pressure on the canvas.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I was wondering.
Right. So I stand them on end. But
yeah.
So I'll be figuring that out too. That's going to be the room is not going to be so bad, I don't think. But the storage and getting it right so you don't have to redo it is going to be and get it right so that you can add to it is going to be
right.
That's going to be the thing. So
yeah.
It's going to be fun.
Yes. I know. Yep.
It's going to be fun. So
sure.
Yeah, it's so that's coming up. And you're right. It is a bit of a rationalization, but you're right. It is another aspect of the hobby, setting up your workspace and to have a blank slate to be able to do really what I want with it is really going to be a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to the end result. And
and to be able to have all of your cameras set up and maybe even everything in place, and you don't have to constantly move it.
Right.
That'll save you so much time and hassle, and you won't feel so rushed before shows and stuff. You can just be more relaxed.
Yep. Yeah, because and you'd think I got a show coming up, I'd be set up. Well, I got to set up on the bed, and of course, it's got to get taken down immediately afterwards because I just can't leave stuff sitting there. And then when we do the live shows, that's a complete setup and tear down every time too, because that's a different setup than if I'm just stitching. And if we're stitching, then I'll have my phone as a camera over my project, and then I'll have my laptop that I used to record with, and that's the camera for my face. And that's also then on that screen how I see you guys on that. It's a little 13-incher. And then all the pictures and stuff, that's on my iPad Pro. So I've got 3 devices going at once. To deliver all that. Because I've heard from a couple of people in the past, when something doesn't go right in a show, in a live show, and I gave you a thumbs down because it shouldn't happen. Yeah, I try it. Try a live show sometime. See how it goes. When you got people from all different places. It takes. It doesn't always go smooth. It's just the way it is. But so those 3, those 3 are set up for that kind of a show, and of course that has to get torn down, and so it'd be nice to have that. And then with a TV in the room, I'm thinking that if I set it up right, I might be able to have all of what's on the little laptop screen be on the TV. Yeah. And so that'll be fantastic because there's more real estate, because I have stuff overlapping each other on that little screen all the time. And so that I'm going to try and make that happen too. So
you're going to have like this whole cockpit set
up. I know, exactly.
With like all these screens and cameras and
exactly.
And you can be able to leave it there and not have to move it all the time.
Jenifer, I cannot tell you how that statement right there is the biggest part. It really is. I can just leave it. I can set it up. It'll all be hooked up to a network. Just leave it. And
that'll be awesome.
And know that it's there. The setup is consistent. It's going to be really great. And then to have all that and then just be able to go and do my stitching without all that stuff in the way is...
I mean, you can probably... I mean, even me just getting ready to do a show, I have to at least 15 minutes before.
Right.
Even longer. I have to come in and just make sure I have everything set up. And I have stuff, like I have a room, but you still have to fiddle around.
Right.
I can't imagine with everything you have to put up and take down, it must take you an hour.
It's a setup, It is. I mean, the live shows are the biggest job. And it probably is an hour total time set up and tear down, and
and you could be spending that time stitching.
I've thought of that several times.
You're like, darn it, I want to be stitching.
Yeah. Well, see, that's and that's the thing is if we do a live show like tonight where it's the 3 of us are stitching, I set it up, and sometimes I get stitching in, but most of the time I don't. But then with this new setup, I'll be able to just turn away from it, the recording stuff, and just stitch. And right now I can't do that. I got to tear everything down that's all surrounding the stitching so I can function. So,
right.
These are all first world problems and spoiled brat problems, but still, it's a reality. And to do these shows, it takes all of that. And
it does.
So it's going to be really great to have that all set up. I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome.
Yep.
Super.
And the sound control. Sound control. So it'll be quiet, no echoing, all of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Keep it all nice and neat and tidy. That's one thing I've discovered is I'm still being really good about when I have stuff come in, I put it away.
Yeah.
And when I'm done with a project, I'm keeping my area clear-ish, more clear than before, clear enough that I can still function in my space and do something and not feel like I have to like completely clean and rehaul the whole area before I can do the one thing I wanted to do.
Right. Yep.
I've found that's key for me.
Yeah. No, I got to work. That's something I have to work at because I tend to get multiple things going and just leave them. And I need to start getting better at putting away so I may maintain ample workspace.
Yeah. Mine especially is when I'm, because I do a lot of little things. So I'll get out a few threads and then I'll finish. And instead of just putting the threads on the table and being like, okay, I'll put those away in a little bit, grab my boxes, put them away immediately.
Yep. Because that's what I do. That's what I do. I'll put those away later, and then something else gets piled on it, and pretty soon it's
then you can't find it, and I've been good. Remember, I started that last the beginning of the year around Christmas. I don't know, earlier this year, a few months ago, and I've been keeping up with it.
Yeah.
I've been very strict with myself. Put it away, and it's been working.
And that's. When you get sloppy about that, that's wasting stitching time. Because not only should it have been put away, but because it wasn't and something else got piled on top of it or next to it, that's time you got to spend sorting that out. And instead of just sitting down and stitching. Yes. And that's
whenever you're like, I know where all my DMC is, I should be able to go to my DMC box and pull it out. Because I know it's there. It's not floating around somewhere underneath some pile.
Right.
And then you have to search through the piles and you're like, oh my gosh, I have to organize all these piles.
Yep.
I'm not doing that anymore. That's over.
Yep. Yeah,
I'm back to the days where everything, because in the past I had such small apartments or whatever, I had to put stuff away.
Yeah. No choice. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's where I'm headed. A place for everything and everything in its place and put it there.
Yes.
Yep. That's where it's headed. Yep. So pretty excited about that. Got another month of time to pack and get moved, but we'll get there. It's going to be good. Yep.
Time's going to fly. It'll be here before you know it.
Yep. I'll be studying pictures of people's working spaces.
Right.
Yep. Want to see what people are doing. Steal some ideas. Yeah.
Is there an IKEA close to you guys?
Don't know.
IKEA is good for.
Well, that's my current working table and shelf unit that detaches on the end is IKEA, and it's their stuff is good stuff, and it's perfect for this kind of and there's lots of variety. Yeah.
For storage solutions, their stuff is perfect. I mean, both of my tables actually, my sewing table that I have my sewing machine on and my cutting table are both IKEA bits where you can, buy the tabletop and then you buy the legs separately. Then all the legs and stuff, they're adjustable height-wise. So I can get it at just the right height and everything.
Yeah, see? Yeah.
Because I'm short, and that's a problem for me. Most standard size stuff is too big for me because I'm short.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So.
Yeah, and that's a good point, too. That's another thing I need to put on my list is the ergonomics of it all. I need to keep that in mind, too, because if I'm going to do it, I should be comfortable at all junctures. Yep.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Yep.
So if I ever need to adjust my table height, I can. I pretty much have it now where I want it, but it is adjustable if I need it to be.
Yep. All right. I got to put that on the list. Ergonomics. Yep. So.
Yep. And IKEA is great for that. They have fantastic solutions.
Yep. Well, that's probably where I'll be headed. I'm sure there's one in the St. Louis area, one or two. I don't have no doubt about that. Yeah. But
they've got them all over now.
Yeah. No doubt that's where I'll be headed. Yep. Yeah. So anyways, pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Just got to get there.
Very cool.
All right.
Yeah.
I think we're calling it right there. Mm-hmm.
All righty.
Join us tonight.
Good stuff.
We'll be stitching and chatting, and Beth will be with us. And Sunday we're going to have the Royal School of Needlework, Susan Kay-Williams. Now she's the head person there, so this is our third time with her. Wonderful lady.
Wow.
Really enjoyed talking with her. And then Jacquie MacDonald, who is heading up the Stitch Bank project, which is going to be maybe one of the best resources we have as stitchers when they get it done. I think I can say that. Yeah.
Wow.
It's impressive. It
Yep.
really is. So that's
Exciting
tonight and Sunday. Thanks for listening.
All right. Bye.